Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefied. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Take heat, take heat, take heat, take heat, take heat.
Brr, brr. Brr. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yo. Big brr.
Yeah.
Brr, 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 brr. Let's go, let's go.
24 of 44 throwing. I had 495 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. So great night, Braden. Appreciate you. Mr. Horn, we appreciate Action Nutrition.
Congratulations, man.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you again this week.
Yes, sir. Got Itawamba, we're going there. Big rivalry. Coach, we got some sponsors this week. Who we got?
Yeah, our sponsorship for the Coaches Show is Jody Walls and Brady Brock at Gumtree Mortgage. They've been doing the show for a while now, and we appreciate those guys. And so go see those guys for any of your mortgage needs.
We're going to get into the Senatobia film and talk about it a little bit and look at Coach, what he expects for this week with Itawamba. We'll be back shortly.
All right, Bulldogs coming off a 48-32 loss to Senatobia this past week, Coach.
Yeah, you know, Senatobia's a team. They're well coached. They've got a history of winning. I think those kids are used to winning. Scrappy group. Just got after us up front. I don't think we matched their physicality as well as we needed to. You know, so that's a challenge for us moving forward. They played a good football game. Got to give those guys credit. They came out, wanted it, and did a good job. So we had chances, moved the ball well on offense, but didn't convert late in the game when we were near the goal line. So, in a shootout like that, you got to keep converting.
Kind of opened up with a bang, 100-yard run, a kickoff back for a touchdown. Kind of a little controversy. He actually, I thought, stepped into the end zone, and not really sure what the ruling is on that. But
well, if they've got any part of their body in the end zone, it's supposed to be a touchback.
That's what I thought.
Would have liked to get that call back. I don't think they got it right. And then later, we did the same thing. We had a guy with the foot in the end zone and brought it out, and they let it go too. So, would have liked to have that one back. Regardless, special teams got to play better. We had guys right there to make the tackle. You watch film, we're wadded up right there, and we don't make the tackle. We got a lot of confidence in our special teams unit. Coach Kerbo does a good job with them. Kickers and guys are really good. And we were in position and just did not make the play. That guy broke a tackle, got through there, and went on and scored. So not how you want to start the game. We need our special teams to be better than that. They were better in week 1, did a really good job. We've got to be better this next week against Itawamba than we were Friday night.
Albany's first drive ended up with a turnover of down, so that kind of put us behind the 8 ball again, give them the ball back, and then another quick score by Senatobia.
Yeah, we kind of got going later on offense and did a good job, but early and late in the game we didn't convert on some 4th downs where we're trying to score, trying to get in there. The first one was kind of a shot. We've been really good at that Bulldog package, bringing 2 linebackers in with Landon Evans, Parker Skinner, and Cheese and Blissett, and just bringing some heavy guys in there for that package, and had been successful. Or later in the game, we're successful with it twice, but on that 4th and 1 when we needed it, we weren't. So we got to do a better job right there converting that 4th and short.
Bulldogs finally get on the board with a 76-yard touchdown pass from Shuttles to Cam Ray. Cam was excited the first week. He wasn't excited because he didn't catch one, but he was excited this week because he actually got 2.
Well, a big part of us playing that spread offense is we've got a quarterback that can do things. He had a special night, did really good, extended plays, but we also got receivers that we have confidence in. Cam Ray is one of those guys. I think we had 3 guys over 100 yards receiving on the night. Based on that's why we run what we run, trying to get the ball out of Braden's hand quick, trying to extend plays, and then letting those guys do some work after they catch the football.
Bulldogs jump on a Warrior fumble there in the first quarter as well, able to get back on the scoreboard again. Another quick strike, 38 yards from Shettles to sophomore Travion Scooter.
I thought we responded well right there. Got down, Cam bounced back. I did a good job on that special teams play of Hicks getting on the ball after we kicked off and they muffed it. Had a couple big plays on special teams, one in their favor, one in ours, and both of them ended up being for points. But we responded well initially and just needed to keep our foot on the gas later.
I feel like you got it right now. When DCs for other team, they look at your offense and like, what do you stop? They don't really have that stock because you are every week we look at from Jamboree to Senatobia to Saltillo. There's a big player every week, a new big player. So that balance is going to really help us as we move along.
Well, when you run a spread offense, you're trying to you're spread because we're spreading out the field, but also we're trying to find matchups. We're trying to see where our guys best match up with theirs, if we can get a receiver on a matchup. If they're weaker in the box because they're spreading out, then Knox has a big night. So we're always going to try to find ways to run the football. It doesn't matter how we're lined up. But we talk a lot about our quick game being an extension of the run game as well. Whether it's throwing a hitch or a key screen or a flare, something Braden's trying to get the ball out quick is a high percentage to go along with the run game. We've still up front. I think we're decent up front. We've had some injuries there that have had some different personnel in. We've got Denver Fernandez playing center all week for us. But still are capable of running the football. You're going to see Braden need to run the ball more and more in the future. Find ways to run the football, create matchup, create advantages with your spread and with formations. That's kind of our goal on offense.
Braden, the player of the week this weekend. In the second quarter, he gets 2 more touchdown passes, a 23-yard touchdown to Isaiah Simpson and an 8-yard pass to Cam Ray for his, like you say, Cam's second score of the night.
Yeah, like I said, I think the second quarter, we matched him pretty well. Didn't finish like we wanted to right there at the second half, but offensively we played well. Some guys got open, some guys Braden did a good job extending the play, moving the pocket. And just found guys downfield, and then those receivers made some good things happen.
Yeah, I believe he had 6 different receivers catch passes this week, so that's good to spread the ball around. You talked about that the week before, we're wanting to do that.
Yeah, we start with those front 4, but then you got LJ Dunham that can come in. You've got Trey King that can come in. Jay Boone can come in and play with slot receiver. You'll see guys like Aiden Burke, who's a 9th grader, come in and play. So a lot of guys that are capable of touching the football and letting good things happen.
Open up the second half of getting the ball, but we carried down and unable to get a first down in their territory.
Yeah, I think there were 2 stories. We needed to stop and play better defense. So obviously they scored too many points and had too many yards rushing, and so we didn't play where we needed to on defense. We weren't physical in the line of scrimmage and we didn't tackle well. Offensively, the story was converting those times in the red zone where we moved the ball but didn't quite punch it in. So that was a big thing. Had some opportunities to get it in the end zone, just didn't take advantage of it.
Tied at halftime. Bulldogs only able to come up with a field goal in the second half.
Yeah, that goes back to that conversion. Punted the ball a couple times, went for it on 4th down a couple times, and just didn't find the end zone. Just got to play better the second half.
Braden, 24 of 44 for 487 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for the game.
Yeah, a good night for Braden. We've talked since then. We'd like for our completion percentage to be up around 70 every week. That being said, we don't typically throw the ball 44 times either. Right. And so, he gives us a chance. We've talked about that many times, just on whatever we're doing, Braden gives us a chance to be successful. And he did that Friday. Like I said, when you get down near the goal line, you'd like to be able to run the ball a little bit more effectively than we did. So we struggled there. And again, I think that goes back to kind of like we talked about the defensive line, the physicality of our offensive line. They were getting after us up front a little bit. We need to be better there.
Cam Ray had 7 catches for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Cam had a good night. He's an explosive player, can do good things with the ball. Just one of our better athletes on the football team. Multiple sport guy, just does a good job. He's been capable of doing that a lot. He's still capable. He'll be every week he's in the lineup. He's capable of doing that, having a big night.
Isaiah Simpson, 6 catches, 166 yards and a touchdown.
Isaiah's been over 100 yards, I think, every game so far.
He's
done a really good job.
Dog.
Yeah, Isaiah's one of our leaders. He does a good job for us. He's vocal out there at practice. He's probably one of Braden's favorite targets right there, whether we're running in routes and running dig or whether it's something getting the ball to him quick. He catches the ball well and he can make plays. physical guy.
Trey King, 4 catches, 126 yards.
Yeah, Trey's another one. He's subbing in there. For Isaiah, plays both of the outside receiver spots. Trey can run a little bit. Trey's one of our 100-meter guys. Runs well. Can put people in a bind with his speed.
Trevion Scooter, 2 catches, 33 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Trevion, he's an effort guy. He does things right, but he wants to be successful. He's going to outwork people. Gives great effort every play. Had an opportunity late in the game that we missed one that we'd like to have back. Ball's a little bit short and Trey's not able to make a play on it. That could have been a big play for us.
Right.
But Scooter's had touchdowns in two consecutive games, so he's a sophomore, young guy. So we're excited about seeing what he's doing.
Struggled a little bit with the running game. Kylan Knox, 14 carries for 43 yards.
Yeah, we came off that Saltillo game where he had a phenomenal game. We ran the ball on a tough box that night. This week was a little bit different. It just didn't have the success we wanted to there. Weren't as consistent as we would like to have been. He did some good things on flares and getting on the edge, but it was tough inside the tackles.
And a lot of that's with the flow of the game. I mean, trailing and trying to score quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of that, you kind of had to change the offense a little bit to score a little quicker and get back on the board quick.
And decisions to go for it on 4th down as well.
When we've got a lot of confidence in Grayson. He did come in and keep that field goal. Had an opportunity to have kicked one later that could have certainly decided to kick it. I think that would have got us within a touchdown. I think we were down 10. Decided to go for it just because of some of the success we were having offensively. And didn't convert. So that was one that could definitely have let Grayson go and kicked another one. But we just didn't do it. Didn't go that route at that time.
I talked a little bit before we came on camera about the defense. It looked to me like we came out in a little bit different set, but you mentioned that we just walked up a safety.
Well, we were trying to find ways to stop Buck Sweep. I mean, that was the primary play that they were running. They had a lot of success on it, where they're basically adding a tight end or H back to the box and pulling a guard, kicking out and turning up. And we were getting blocked on the defensive end spot, and they were getting those guys moved, and then they're getting up to our backers by kicking out and turning up. So just trying to do some things to create a problem for that, whether it's by adding big guys or by slanting or by blitzing, but just didn't have enough success doing that.
You told me not to get into it too much, but number 6 gave us fits all night long.
6 had a tremendous night. I mean, I think he had a career night for himself. I think he had 5 touchdowns, a lot of yards, and they kept giving it to him. I think if you go back and look, a lot of that was off Buck Sweep, and that was the play that we had trouble stopping, and give those guys credit because there was no reason to do anything else, and they kept doing it. So 6 had a phenomenal night.
Will Hardy, the leading tackler again this week. He's got 21 on the season, 10 tackles versus Senatobia.
And that's not a surprise for us. You come to practice, you're going to see Will give great effort, get after it. He's physical. He's not, by stature, he's not a big kid, but he's strong for his size. He's aggressive and he's physical. And you don't see him back up. He's going forward, and that's what we got to have out of all of our guys. You can't play on your heels on defense. You've got to be going forward, and you've got to be attacking the offense.
Tyler Evans, 15 tackles on the season, 6 versus Senatobia.
And Tyler's been a safety for us both games. You'd rather your safety not have that many tackles, but Tyler's done a good job cleaning up some plays. A guy that's a junior, hasn't played that much, but is doing a good job for us.
Parker Hicks, 13 tackles on season, 9 versus Senatobia this week.
Parker was a guy, he's playing that backer spot, and he's a guy that can play in the box, can play in space. Parker's one of the guys that we gotta have a good game out of.
Parker Skinner, 13 tackles on season, 5 versus Senatobia.
Parker's another baseball kid, linebacker guy for us. Parker's played since he was a sophomore. We've got to play a little more downhill at those linebacker spots, but Parker is, he's a linebacker, and he's definitely got a lot of tackles so far.
Cheese, you mentioned him last week, and kind of watching him, he has another 5 tackles this week against Senatobia.
I think Cheese is one of our bright spots on defense. I think he's played a lot last year at a high level. He gives deep offensive problems a lot, whether he's slanting or whether he's shooting a gap. But Cheese is a good player for us, and he's one of our leaders on defense.
Jalen Nesbitt and Chandler Blissett, both with 8 tackles on the season. Both of those guys had 3 tackles against Senatobia. And
Chandler's guy's playing a lot of defensive end right now. He's a senior. He's done a lot of stuff on offense. He played some tight end play for us. He's played guard, tackle for us in the past. But Bliss right now he's found a home at defensive end, and that's where he's helping us right now.
Got anything, Coach?
It was the response. It was an exciting game. I mean, it was again, like Saltillo game, we could have laid down. We didn't lay down. We kept fighting. We kept scoring. The guys kept competing. That was exciting to see. I know on the coaching side of things how bad that week sucks for you in a coaching staff, but there is a lot just on the outside looking in. A lot of positives that we can bring from Friday night that's going to have a great season.
Like I said, I think we responded. I think there were some bright spots on special teams. There were some things that weren't great. I think that was a good football team that we went and played. A very talented running back, like you said, that's going to impress people the rest of the season.
Right.
And I think it gave us an opportunity to go back and reflect and figure out where we need to make some changes and whatnot. Would certainly rather that happen early in the season than late, as far as whether we're changing up defensively or what adjustments we're making on special teams or offense. So it gives us the opportunity to go back and reflect. I do think we kept competing. We got after it offensively. We struggled making that adjustment on defense and trying to find a way to stop it. Obviously, that he had a great night. So post game, it gave us an opportunity to reflect and make some changes, and so we're excited about what we've done.
All right, want to welcome everybody back into the New Albany football, inside New Albany football with head coach Cody Stubblefied. This week we got Itawamba.
Coach Hoots. Last year we kind of got that monkey off our back, finally beating them. I believe it had been 13 years since New Albany had beaten them, and we got tired of hearing that. We heard it, heard it for 6 years since we were here. But that goes to credit to what they had done, right? They've been a program that has been really good. Coach Hoots has done a tremendous job. But we think we've raised our program to a bar where we're out there, and we don't show up expecting to lose to them anymore. So excited about that. I think we come into Friday night thinking that we can beat them, knowing we can beat them, and expecting ourselves to be the better team on the field.
Actually got them twice last year.
Right.
In regular season 38-21, and then in the second round of the playoffs, Bulldogs come up with a 40-30 victory. Been a tough place for the Bulldogs to play. Like you mentioned, the last time we won in Fulton was 2011. Beat them 20-7. An overall series with
Before last year.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that just goes back to the program that they've had. They've been, if you go look, Coach Hoots got 80-something wins over his career. They went a long time having 9, 10, 11 wins in a season.
Right.
They've struggled the past couple of years. They haven't been that same team, but know that they've got athletes coming that are doing a good job. And I think his son's at quarterback this year, and so he's, we talked to him earlier in the week. He's a kid that's been at practice since he was 10 years old, seen every practice. So they've got a guy back there, that can handle the game and knows what to do.
I hadn't really watched film on him yet, but he can sling a baseball. So I'm gonna say he could.
Big kid,
I'm gonna say he can throw that football.
We've talked about him. 6'2", 190. He looks bigger than that on film. I don't know exactly where he measures, but a big kid back there that can manage the game.
Coach Hoots, you mentioned him. He's been there 11 years in Senatobia or in Itawamba, so that brings a lot of stability to your program when you've been there that long. You've been here with us 8 years as well.
Yeah, like I said, Hoots has done a good job. Guys on his staff have gone to be head coaches other places. I know Chris Walters at Houston is the head coach there now. But Hoots, like you said, brought stability, brought purpose. I'd say, you put a system in place and a program in place, and you just go to work every day doing it. It gets better and better and better, and so just that stability he's brought has been tremendous for him. Great coach.
They opened up the season versus Caledonia. Were able to win that game 27-16. They had 28 carries for 128 yards rushing, passing wise 12 of 19 for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then the next week they came in and got beat by Corinth this past week 38-21.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see primarily on offense, you're going to see number one is a running back. They're going to try to find a way to run the football. They're going to do that, but they can spread it out if they want to with Hoots at quarterback. So got a number 2 that's a receiver that's a good player for them. So offensively they can be multiple, but they're going to line up and try to run the football first.
Yeah, Hoots, quarterback, you mentioned he was the coach's son, 12 of 19, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns. A couple of wide receivers, number 2, Wilson, and Casimir, another wide receiver. Both of them have called about 10 passes on the season.
Yeah, 2's the guy that's going to stand out. He's a 6'1" kid, 180 pounds, somewhere in there, but just a physical kid that plays both sides of the ball for him. He'll play corner and safety, and he'll play receiver. But we'll need to know where he's at, and then we got to make sure we stop the run. they'd rather run the football, so we want to force them into throwing the ball and in passing situations.
They're kind of similar to the New Albany, only about 9 or 10 seniors on the team, it looked like.
Yeah, got some young guys sprinkled in there for sure. Just some, like I said, a good team with some athletes that can hurt you if you're not careful.
I know they returned 5 offensive starters from this past season's team and 8 on defense as returning starters.
Yeah, I think defensively they're a solid defense. It all starts up front. We say that every week. But we've got to make sure that we get hats on hats. At nose, they're a big kid. It's number 72, I think, 6'3", 320 pounds. So our guys are going to have to make sure they get movement there first. It starts there. They run a 3-4 defense, so there's 4 linebackers roaming around every play. You need to know where they're at. And typically in a spread team, those outside guys have to loosen up a little bit. So as much as they want them to be in the run game, they've got to worry about pass too. So that'll be a lot of what we look at. Are those outside linebackers, are they staying in the box? Are they getting spread out? Can we run the football with 5? Anytime we have 5 on 5 in the box, we need to be able to run the football. So that's something that you'll see us looking at throughout the game.
A couple of linebackers, Neighbors and Gaston, they believe they played last year as well. So they also lost a linebacker last year. There was an Ole Miss commit, had a knee messed up during the game last year.
Yeah, that was Walters. It was Coach Walters who went to Houston. Like I said, his son is at Ole Miss. 7 though, I think 7 was Lewis, is a guy that played a lot last year for him, and he's back. He's a guy that does a really good job. Number 4 is another outside linebacker that does a good job for him. 11 is a guy. So, I mean, they've got some really good players up there. The thing is, we've got some really good players too. We talked about them after the loss at Senatobia, guys. The locker room's still the same. We've still got a lot of talent in this locker room. We just got to go out and execute better. Excited about the matchup. I think we can move the football. We've done it both, like you said, both games last year. Had a high offensive performances, had a lot of points on the board. And that's the expectation again this week.
Early in the season, they're averaging 24 points per game, but they're giving up 27 points a game. So, to our advantage there.
Well, it's football simple. You want to score a lot of points, you want to give up very few. We've scored a lot of points. I think our biggest thing right now is finding a way to stop people. Whatever we're doing on defense, get guys that fly the football, that are physical, that are aggressive, and that tackle well. That's what the primary focus of this week is to get the right guys in the right situation, get them playing with the right attitude, and start making plays. So,
give us an idea of what the Bulldogs have to do this week in order to pull off a victory against.
We've got to continue to move the ball offensively. We've got to convert better. Like I said, that was something that we did not do against Senatobia when we got down there near the goal line. Our red zone scoring was 33%, whereas the week before it was 100%. So that was the story of the game offensively. Defensively, we've got to get stops. We've got to do a better job on third down primarily and getting people off the field. But we've got to fly the ball. We've got to be more physical on the front and get guys down. We can't have yards after contact or missed tackles.
JV had a game last night.
JV lost a close one to Ripley last night. We played, we scored. We scored first. We went up 8-0. They scored and kicked the extra point. That ended up being the point in the game. We talked a little bit about it. Our officials out there, the kicking game is dead. Well, that's all well and good until points are at stake, right? And if you get to kick a field goal or an extra point and it's dead, well, I mean, that's not exactly what you'd like to see out there. So I hated that one point ended up winning the game for them. But, JV is an opportunity for a lot of our guys to play. So we got to see a lot of guys out there. When we line up in JV, we put 5 freshmen linebackers out there, and the look that we did last night, and just it was impressive to see the speed that they've got. We've got a lot of linebacker bodies and kids that can go after them. So I got to see that. Offensively, got to see AJ Kerbo back there throwing it around as a tough, scrappy kid, but also got to see some of those receivers make some plays. Kai McFadden made some plays. LJ Dunham made some plays on some vertical balls. And that just speaks to the depth of our receivers like we talked about earlier.
The little Bulldogs did pretty well last night too. Junior high had a good night.
Junior high, our eighth grader got the win over Ripley. I think it was 26-8, something like that. So won pretty big. And got some players that we're excited about coming up. Those 8th grade group and what they'll add to the team next year. So they did. Junior high got a big win last night.
You also have some smaller kids, even below junior high, that are playing. You kind of got it dealing with a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So on Saturdays, the Shockers have been here for years, did a tremendous job. We've merged it with our high school program and with our overall program. We've got New Albany youth football going on this year, so they've got the same helmet that our high school does have. The uniforms are very similar. But it's 7 and 8 year olds play. Then there's a 9 and 10 year old team. There's 11 and 12. So Ray, my son, is 7. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays I get to go out there and practice after high school practice with them. Saturdays is keeping us busy now, so we get to go play. So they've played one game so far. They'll play another one this Thursday that got canceled from Saturday, and then they'll play again on Saturday. So it's fun seeing those little guys get after it. It's a different experience for me coaching 7 and 8 year olds, but they get pumped up and they're excited about it. So it's a fun experience. I'm glad those guys are there, and it's a program that we want to grow. We want more kids involved in it. I think those guys getting to start playing and then playing games and starting to figure it out. They're getting more physical. They're getting exposed to it earlier. And the big thing is I think they're having fun doing it. So you ask them, you having fun, they're yelling, yes sir. And so it's been a good experience.
It's good for the program as well to have the same terminology they've used to since they're 9 to 10 years old all the way through.
Well, we just want them to have a lot of pride in playing football at New Albany. We want it to be, New Albany kids with a New Albany NA on their helmet with maroon and white. And it being one big football program. So that's the goal. That's what we've got going. We want to grow it next year. We want more kids involved. Financially, we're trying to keep the cost of it as low as it can be so that it's open to everybody. So if you've got a 7 through 12 year old, if they're not playing this year, make sure they come out and play with us next year.
Coach, tell them how you do your sign up for that. How is that process like?
Typically, we'll start sending that out there in March because they'll start practicing in June. They practice 1 day a week. In July, they picked up to 2. Typically, they're practicing 2 days a week right now, playing on Saturdays. But we'll start putting a lot of stuff out in March. We also sent flyers out to the elementary school, so we'll definitely make sure we get the word out. So if they're not playing this year, like I said, look out for it and make sure you join us next year.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm from Itawamba County.
Oh.
I might have went to Morville, but I know those jokers are going to be at the coffee shop all week this week. They'll be watching this show talking about it, and I'll tell the public, I like beating Itawamba. So, Coach,
Yeah.
I get a little bragging rights. We go back home. We get that win Friday night.
We're going to make sure you're taken care of at the coffee shop, I promise you.
I need it. So, well, great week, exciting week. We always love playing Itawamba. It's a great environment. I think, Coach, I talk to my guys a lot. This game right here kind of prepares us for playoffs. This is a really good. You have those games that give you that playoff atmosphere, that playoff talent, and the one you can learn from that really helps you, late in the season to get wins.
It's another good 4A opponent. So, like I said, they'll be there when playoffs come around. It'll be a good game and a good challenge for us.
Yeah. Well,
Best of luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Best of luck. See you Friday night, guys. What's up, Bulldog Nation? We're going to do a little round table right here with our QB1, Braden Shettles, our wide receiver 1, Isaiah Simpson. We about to hit some records this year receiving, guys. What do y'all think about that?
It's fun. It's going to be fun.
I think, personally, and next year on Saturdays, I'm going to be watching you two. Can y'all talk about that recruiting process for me? Where you at with that?
So I'm down to 2 schools, really, Murray State and Arkansas State. I'm going to check out Arkansas State this weekend. Now I'm just going to...
What about you, Simpson? It might not be happening yet, but once this huddle gets out there, we're going to have some decisions to be made. I don't know if you realize that yet, but it's about to be happening.
I try to hit my aiming point, set my goals for each game, and by the time that happens, I'll have a recruiting process going for me.
Well, we're excited about this year with you guys. We're excited about the future and watching you guys on Saturday. We're keeping Shettles here. He's going to make it through here. We'll keep him from laughing too much. Let's talk about this passing game. Y'all have got a good connection. When it seems like trouble hits, we're not open, we start getting around the pocket a little bit, we seem to find this guy here. Talk to me about that. Is that something we do at practice a lot, or we just playing together so long?
Been playing with each other since we were in like 5th grade, so that connection's always been there, and it's just got better year after year, and he's got better, I've got better, and it's just connection's going to keep getting better.
I don't think Stubb threw you the ball enough last year. I've been talking to him. I said we should have.
Yeah, it was something like that, but I didn't too much focus on that. I focus on myself personally, and I focus on getting open still. And so I got that chance this year.
You had a few mosses last game. We caught one pass. You wrapped around him there, and then we had a low. Shettles didn't give you the best target there.
Yes, sir.
Real low and on the run. That was a good one there. The hands, you feel like your hands have gotten better?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They gotten better with Braden over the weekends, putting in that extra work.
I know a lot of times on Sundays y'all come up here and throw routes, right?
Yes, sir, we do.
Let's take a break. If it was 3rd and 12, it's 3rd and 12. Got 1 minute drill going. Okay, what pass route were you throwing?
Comeback or Dr. Pepper. He's getting either one.
Oh yeah, either one.
So the comeback. Now I don't think everybody knows what Dr. Pepper is. I'm gonna go with post, but
So slot guy has a post. Isaiah's going to clearing out for Isaiah to run a dig. 1 minute drill, probably prefer the comeback so he can get out of bounds, but they stop the clock, moving the chains on first downs anyway. So
when you got a play call, do you have? Is your progressions you a 3-look progression, 4-look?
typically 3.
And do you automatically have your one guy pre-snap, or
You got your pre-snap. Typically when we backside your pre-snap, so you can either throw that or eliminate it immediately. Then you go to either it's a levels read, triangle read, regardless.
so if I got Isaiah over there one-on-one, you have the choice to make him number 1 receiver in that moment?
Oh yeah, he's one-on-one. We're just going to take it all the time.
I think I would too. You like that idea?
Yes, sir. We usually talk that out. Like he said on our relationship, if he sees something he like, he always gives it to me.
So let's talk about Itawamba a little bit. Y'all know I'm from Itawamba. Did you know that?
I did not. I thought you was from Morville.
I went to Morville, but I was raised in Fulton. I could hear the drums play on football games. Yeah, so I need y'all to win this weekend. I
Yes,
go
sir.
back home, talk some smack to my family. I'm gonna talk y'all up. We talked about earlier in the show about them them old men at the coffee shops right now. Talking about the footballers, they big on that right now. So they'll be talking that stuff at that coffee shop. But tell me about Itawamba. What do y'all look forward to that game? It's going to be exciting. It's going to be packed. It's going to be a fun night.
Sir, every time we played Itawamba, it's always been tough. I remember freshman year they had Isaac Smith, which has always been fun. But they've been doing the same stuff, and I'm kind of used to it now, seeing what they do, and I'm just excited to get to play them again. It's always a fun game.
Yeah. How many pass yards receiving you gonna have?
By this game, whatever they give me, I'm typically going for 100 plus. I don't set it every time, but that's what I'm looking for.
I think we're at what? I think you're
266.
275, 266,
266.
almost 270.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good. And then keep it up, get above that 1,000 receiving. We had Mr. Goods on earlier. His son has got the receiving record.
For real?
Taylor Good. Yeah, he's got the receiving record, New Albany. I'm pretty sure that's right, but I think he's got total yards receiving. So Taylor, I think Isaiah's coming from you. I'm gonna shoot this out to him, let him know you're coming from him. Y'all got anything else for Friday night?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'm excited. Hey, we're proud of y'all. New Albany's proud of y'all. Y'all keep it up, be leaders, and let's get this thing rolling.
Yes, sir.
One segment we like to do every week is a pick to click, and this is who you going to think is going to be the player of the game for offense. You're going to tell me who it is and their stat line. You're going to do offense. Tell me who's going to be our leading receiver or leading rusher and what stat line they have. And then Isaiah, you're going to tell us our defense. Who's going to be our top defensive guys? They're going to have so many sacks, so many tackles, interception, whatnot. Okay? Y'all got a second? Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Who you got for offense this week?
I got to go with Isaiah. I think he's going to have 8 catches, 172 yards, 2 touchdowns.
172.
That sounds accurate.
All right.
I got Jalen Nesbitt for a pick, interception. Then I got him leading probably 9 tackles.
9 tackles.
For the
All right, Nesbitt. We looking for it. That's your pick to click. Can't wait for Friday night. Thank you.